Today I'm going to show you how to use Ableton Live in combination with Push for optimal music production workflow. If you use Ableton Live and you're thinking about purchasing your next equipment, I strongly suggest considering Ableton Push. What Push allows you to do is it turns your experience with Ableton Live more like an instrument, playing with an instrument rather than a DAW or programming. It takes away all these fiddling around with the keyboard and the mouse aspect of production with Ableton Live. In this video, my goal is to start a track from scratch and build the entire track using Ableton Push without touching the mouse or keyboard. So let's get started. When you open Ableton Live, this is what you see usually. Please ignore these two tracks here. This is for the purpose of recording this tutorial. The first step for me is add a drum track. So press on add track here, and here you can pick your instrument. This is up button for navigating the arrows here for selection. Drum rack, and then in the core library there are drum racks. I navigate to kit 909, one of my favorites. So these are like folder style, right? This is folder, drum rack folder. Then from here there is a next level of folders. In the core library, which is selected, we got drum racks, and in the same level we have 909. And by pressing on this green button, I am essentially selecting it. And then I press add track again. Now the track is added officially. So Ableton Push is smart. So depending on the type of instrument that you pick, it adjusts itself for optimal usability. This is a drum track. Ableton Push recognized that and recognized this drum rack down here in the lower left corner of the Ableton screen, and it turned its lower left corner to correspond with the buttons here. As you can see, as I press these touchpads, I am triggering those. This area is your sequencer for the selected touchpad. So right now this is blue. It means that it is selected. If I want to select something, I'll just have to touch it. So right now the kick track is selected, and this area turns into the sequencer for this kick track. What do I mean by that? So I'm going to light this up. This is the cursor that is going through and playing the kick as it goes through the sequencer. Now let's try to add a snare. Okay. There are three ways of adding the snare, or any other track for that matter. I can use the same method as I used for the kick, or I can play it like that. I can record it by pressing this record button. Right? Press it again to disable the record. These are velocity sensitive, so if I press harder on one step, it is going to be louder. So this one is a little bit louder. I can hold this down, and this area becomes a setting for this button that I'm holding down. So velocity was 1 or 2. I brought it down to 98 so that it won't be jumping at us. Let's add some hi-hat. There's a button here called repeat. If I hold this down and then hold this down, it is going to repeat the hi-hat. And here is the time signature for the repeat. Right now it's 1/16. This is 1/8. This is 1/32. I like 1/16 or 1/8 transpose. Okay, let's record that. So with my pinky, I'm pressing the record button. It's velocity sensitive, so I can play with the amount of force that I apply to make it louder. Okay, reduce the volume down. This volume is only turning down the volume for the hi-hat because hi-hat is selected right now. So let's press kick. So right now I'm selecting the kick. I can kind of increase the attack to make it more subtle. Right. Now I selected the snare. Snare is a little bit too long for me, so I'm going to shorten this. The hi-hat, I can shift the pitch down a little bit and also shorten it. I also can play with high frequency cut. Okay, now let's add the next track. Add track. Press on add track. I can navigate to analog this time. Maybe let's add some sort of pad. Let's see what we got here. I'm just gonna select random vocoder. Sound was distracting, sorry about that. So now this becomes like a keyboard for you, except that everything, instead of being in one row, we have it in two-dimensional compact space. Okay, this sounds better. I selected a different instrument, add track to kind of finalize the select. Can also play a chord. Okay, I kind of like that, so let's okay. Okay. Reduce the volume a little bit. As you can see in the screen, I played a little bit sloppy. I can quantize it by pressing on this quantize button. See? Kind of made it a little bit tighter. Now let's add another track. Add track. Maybe add some sort of synth. Okay, so we added 3 layers. I know it sounds terrible, but I'm just trying to show you how to put together something really quick. Of course, if you practice and you have an idea what you're gonna make, you can make a real track using the same exact steps. Okay, so we got some raw tracks, but I think it would be nice to be able to add some sort of effect into it. So let's do that. Let me tell you before I start the song, what I'm going to do. I'm going to add some sort of effect into each of those layers, each of those 2 melodic layers. Okay, with these 2 buttons, you can navigate through the tracks. Let me bring this down. Now this is the first chord that we added. Let's play around with the setup. Okay. I kind of like that sweep in frequency. Let's capture this parameter change. So I click on this, I press on this record button as I play around with this frequency sweep. Press on that again. Okay, see it's moving. It is important that this button is lit. You see, if you look at my Ableton, I'm hovering over my mouse. When you are recording automation, this button has to be lit. Okay. I would like to add some sort of effect in the effect chain for the same track. Press add effect here, and then I can navigate through the effects. Let's add some sort of maybe filter delay. Select it. Play around with the parameters of the filter delay. Let me move this away. You see that? I hope you enjoyed it. A lot more videos are on the way. I'll be uploading a bunch of tutorials, not only for Ableton and Push, but also for other synthesizers and the overall end-to-end songwriting all the way to mastering process. Don't forget to subscribe and press on the bell button so that you get notified of my upcoming tutorials. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you very much for tuning in.